Hi guys, so this is an interesting puzzle. We have a 4-digit number and we multiply it by 4 and the digits get reversed. How can we solve this puzzle? Before we continue, let me introduce myself. My name is John and I'm the owner of this channel dedicated to mathematical recreation and education. My goal is to bring math education and recreational math to as wide an audience as possible on YouTube. If you'd like to help me on my mission, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. That will allow me to bring this content to a much wider audience. So first, let's figure out what the first digit might be. Note that it's a 4-digit number, so neither A nor D can be 0, since a 4-digit number can't begin with 0. And notice when we take 4 times A, even if there's some carry, if A is greater than or equal to 3, we will get a 2-digit number. So we would end up with a 5-digit number for our product. So A can't be greater than or equal to 3, since 4 times 3 is 12. So A can't be 0 and it can't be greater than or equal to 3. So we get that A has to be 1 or 2. Next, let's notice that 4 times D must be an even number, since 4 times anything is an even number. So 4 times D gives us an even number whose last digit is A. That means that A has to be even. So if A is even and A is 1 or 2, that means A can't be 1 and it must be 2. So we have our first digit. Next, let's figure out what D might be. Even if there's a carry, 4 times 2 plus the carry has to be equal to D. 4 times 2 is 8, so D has to be greater than or equal to 8, and it's less than 10 since it's a single digit. So far we get that D is 8 or 9. Now let's see what happens if D were 9. We would have 2BC9 times 4, giving us DCB, and since 4 times 9 is 36, this would give us a product that ends in the digit 6. But that contradicts what we already know, it ends in 2. So that means that D cannot be 9. Since we knew that D is 8 or 9, then D has to be 8. So we worked out another digit. Next, let's see if we can find what the digit B is. Let's notice that 4 times 2250 is equal to 9,000. 9,000 is bigger than our product, since our product begins with 8. So we know then that 2BC8 has to be less than 2250. Otherwise our product would be greater than or equal to 9,000. So 2BC8 is less than 2250. Otherwise we get a product that's too big. But then if that's the case, we have to have that B is less than or equal to 2. 0, 1, or 2. Now let's look a little closer at the product. 2BC8 times 4, giving us 8CB2. So 8 times 4 would be 32, which means we would carry the 3. And then B would be the last digit of a 2-digit number, which we get by taking 4 times C plus 3. Well, 4 times C is even, because anything times 4 is an even number. And I think you can convince yourself that if you take an even number and you add a 3, if you add 3 to an even number, you're going to get an odd number. So 4C plus 3 is an odd number. But B is the last digit in this number 4C plus 3. And since it's odd, that means B has to be odd. So if we put these two facts together, B is 0, 1, or 2, and B is odd, the only thing that remains is B has to be equal to 1. So we worked out another digit. So the second digit must be 1. Now let's solve for C using a little bit of algebra. 4 times 21C8. 21C8, written in expanded form. The 2 is in the thousand place, so that represents 2,000. 1 in the hundreds place represents 100. The C is in the tens place, so that represents 10C, plus 8, and we multiply that by 4, and that gives us our product, which is 8C12. 8 is in the thousands place, so that's 8,000. C is in the hundreds place, so that's 100 times C, plus 12. So now let's solve this equation for c. We'll apply the distributive law. Next, let's simplify and combine like terms. We can cancel the 8,000 from both sides of the equation. Subtracting 12 from both sides of the equation gives us 420 on the left, and subtracting 40c from both sides of the equation gives us 60c on the right. So we get 420 is equal to 60c. Dividing both sides by 60 gives us c is equal to 7, and that's our last digit. So this is our answer. 2178 times 4 gives us 8712. And we can verify it by multiplying. We get 8 times 4 is 32, which is a 2 with a carry of 3. 4 times 7 gives us 28, plus 3 gives us 31, so it's 1 with a carry of 3. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. And finally, 4 times 2 is 8. And that's the answer to our riddle, and thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.